Hey everyone, so good to have you today. This is Vera Wan Casera, and we are here. Bob Casera and I are founding partners at Peak Square Ventures, also the founder for Peak Wealth Mastery Speakers Series. We're very blessed and grateful to have Jeffrey Gitomer with us today. Jeffrey has written 15 books. It's very impressive, including New York Times bestsellers, The Sales Bible, The Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude, and the most well-known book, which everybody knows about, The Little Red Book of Selling. And this book has sold more than 5 million copies worldwide. It has been translated into 14 languages. It's just amazing. So we're very, very blessed. And I know, like, if you notice the subject line is how to convert 2,500 clients without selling. And because Jeffrey has spoken over 2,500, corporate speaks, corporate conferences. And we're looking forward to spend some time with Jeffrey today. So Jeffrey, we would love to start by asking you what got you to where you are today. What's your story? What's your background? Please share a little bit with us.
I grew up in Philadelphia. I sold in New York City. If you've never sold in New York City, up yours is a greeting and everybody wants a bribe. And so if you have that as your foundation and you can make millions of dollars worth of sales in those marketplaces, you learn strategies and techniques. And all I did was write them down and put them into columns in the weekly newspaper, and that turned into a book, and that turned into a bunch of books. But the audience wants to know how they can become more successful today. And people like me, well, when I was a kid, no one cares about that story at all. What you care about is how can you convert where you are and what you're doing into money. And once you understand those values and those principles, and you're not going to like some of them because they have nothing to do with beer or Netflix, but they've been around for 100 years. And your job is to take them for yourself and then advance them by taking your non-work time and turning that into study time rather than beer and television time. Because beer and television are no longer applicable, especially in a world that's blossoming into artificial intelligence. Because the average person who's listening to this podcast has no concept of AI. Or they know about it, they get emails about it every day, but they don't know how to use it. They think that ChatGPT is going to give them a subject line for an email, which is, to me, that's the lowest level of using AI. The question is, how do you get answers from AI without prompts that are going to give you what you need to be able to go into that next sales meeting, to be able to close the deal, enhance the deal, prolong the deal, overcome whatever objections are thrown at you, get an appointment for what you need. What's going to happen in those selling environments? And that has yet to be cracked. I think I'm cracking it in a month, but we'll see.
Interesting. So you are still searching for new solutions in this new era.
Well, Vera, I think I found one.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll launch in about 30 days.
Okay.
I'm investing significant amount of money, 6 figures, and the first figure is not one, to be able to create a platform that gives salespeople an answer and a place to go research greater information about it, and a place to go and get anything I've ever written about it or spoken about it. So the platform has to have depth, and because many of my customers are either European, Asian, African, North American, but speaking a different language, South American, you have to be able to answer them in any language.
Right.
which this platform will be able to do. So you'll be able to ask me anything, any time of the day or night, get an answer in any language, take you back to the source, and then take you back to me as a resource. And
Okay.
that I think is the bottom line of AI, and that is how a salesperson or anybody in business, an entrepreneur, can use it and turn it into money.
That's
It'll
interesting.
everything I've ever done in one hopper. Every 17 books, all in one hopper.
Okay. Okay.
All in one hopper. 1,000 YouTube videos, all in one hopper. And that gives the opportunity for the salesperson to sit back and go, okay, tomorrow I got to do this, this, and this. Jeffrey, what's my best way of doing this? Or Jeffrey, I'm sitting in somebody's lobby. What are the best 3 questions I should ask a prospect on the first go round?
Mm.
Or Jeffrey, I'm stuck. This guy's an idiot and a cheap bastard, and I need to figure out how I can get around that. And what do I do? And I'll be able to provide you with answers. This is the most sophisticated AI platform on the planet.
Okay.
The company does Fortune 500 companies and the Pentagon. And so I've chosen, I'm not going to do a freebie. I'm going to, you're going to pay like $50 a month, but the bottom line is, it's for people that want to make sales.
Okay. So basically,
we will stay tuned. We'll be all over it. Looking
It's
for
actually, it's real simple. It's Gitomer, it's Gitomer AI, no, GitomerSales.ai.
Okay. All right.
That's the platform. But in the meantime, there's other questions that you have, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about whatever you want.
Yeah. So basically, this platform provides solutions for salespeople.
Right.
That's it. Is provide answers.
Salespeople, that's all they want.
Yeah.
They don't want to take the long cut. They don't need a lesson in how to create a prompt. They want a freaking answer.
Okay. Love it. That sounds amazing. It has almost like we can walk into your brain, pick your brain on this platform.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is exactly correct. You can jump in the head anytime you want. And what we're going to do, and this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Once the platform is launched,
yeah,
be a street language version and a politically correct version.
Who cares about political correct?
I want the street. I want the street version.
Everyone, listen, it's going to be the most viral thing on the market. Can you imagine asking me a question and me telling you what a dumb fucking question it is?
So that's funny because out of the in your book, the little red book selling, you mentioned one of the principles is, when you can make people laugh, people will buy from you. So you always add a sense of humor to what you do, and you also have a creative approach for selling as well. Can you give us an example where you're being creative when you sell, and how maybe walk us through anything jumps out?
Here's the deal. I'm going to give you an idea that any sales guy can use. Do you think a CEO of a company wants to hear your boring 27-slide sales pitch, or do you think they would rather be a guest on your podcast?
A guest on your podcast.
Guest on the podcast.
So the average sales guy doesn't have a podcast. You know why? Because he's an idiot. And all you can get, how long did it take you to set up Peak Square Ventures podcast? Right. Yeah. It's relatively free. You might pay a little bit for Libsyn or, whatever the recording things are, or maybe pay someone to edit it and post it. But the bottom line is you can now have a guest, and that guest can be a sales manager or a sales leader, a CEO, a founder, an entrepreneur of your prime prospects. Right. They'll all come on your show. Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's the whole deal. Yeah. And you build it, they will come. Yeah. So that's my challenge is you have to think the opposite of what everyone else thinks. Okay. Someone says, I've got to get an appointment. No, you got to get someone on your podcast, and then they'll want an appointment with you. I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. And simple. It's very simple, but it takes time and it takes effort. And salespeople only want to know, how can I make a sale the fastest way right now today? Because I have a quota that someone pulled out of their ass and gave to me, and now I got to make a goal to achieve their goal. No bueno. No bueno. Yeah.
So when did you acknowledge or was aware of your talent on sales? Is sales a learned skill or it is born with us?
No, it's not born. You learn it. It's a learned science. It's not an art. Selling is not an art. It's a science, a repeatable science.
It's a repeatable science.
If
Okay.
there is an art to selling, it's never letting the other person feel like they're being sold.
Mm, mm.
And my quote, which is trademarked, is people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy.
All right, that's from you. Yeah.
But I learned how to sell in Manhattan, and it's not easy there. I even went ventured over to Brooklyn every once in a while, but it's not easy there. And the challenge that you have is how can you engage someone to where they feel comfortable, they feel valued, they feel safe, and they feel that your value exceeds their thought about what the price is or what does it cost. And I have to be able to provide enough value to make that happen, regardless of whether I'm selling a product or a service. Doesn't matter. They're all the same.
Based on what you just said, it sounds like it takes time to sell because you need to build that trust, to build that safe build. So, but it's not necessarily the case.
No, you're not gonna, the odds of you making a one-call close are slim. Unless you're selling something for $58 and you just want to make a sale and go home. If you want to make a serious sale, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7-figure sale, it's going to take building a trusted relationship.
Right.
Based on truth, based on perceived value, based on perceived difference. Now there's another element. There's, based on truth, perceived value, perceived difference between you and your competitors. But to me, the most important element is social proof. Can I Google you and find out that you're saying the right thing and that you're truthful? Because Mother Google has all kinds of answers about you. And you may not, Google, take my name and Google it. And whatever pops up, that's my fate. And if I hit Google to Vera Wang, I'm going to come up with a fashion designer, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but that's a different Vera Wang, just for the record.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But the bottom line is you still have to be able to make yourself known on Google.
Yeah, yeah. So build reputation online is quite critical in today's DNA. Yeah, because we live in the digital world. Yeah.
You have to have people saying that you're the greatest.
Yeah.
Because me saying I'm the greatest doesn't work as well as somebody else saying, no, the Gitomer guy, he's the greatest.
I say my wife is the greatest every day, Jeffrey.
That's cool. That's smart.
Smart
guy.
That's why he's on the call. Otherwise, he will be blocked. So you mentioned start a podcast. That's one way to build your reputation. Social proof. Reviews are very important. Reviews and
referrals. Yeah, if your product can be reviewed easily, yes.
Yeah.
And everything is measured in terms of a 5 now.
Yeah.
5 is the measuring number on Amazon, on TripAdvisor, on Yelp, whatever. And you have to be 5 in the mind of your customer.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then you're a 4.
Yeah.
Or you're 4.5 and you're in second place.
Right. And you don't want to be second place.
Second place in sales is first loser.
Yes, I love that.
Just like in sports.
Yeah, there's one prize in sales. First.
Yeah, first. Yeah. So when you wrote this book, what made you write this book, first of all? And
I was given the idea. I was given the idea by my publisher, Ray Bard.
Yeah.
And said Harvey Pinnock wrote the Little Red Book of Golf and sold 1.5 million copies. And I think if you write the Little Red Book of Selling, you can sell more copies. And he was right.
Wow. Yeah.
And so the challenge that you have is, okay, what are you doing that differentiate yourself from your competitors? Right. So when I go into a sales call, I don't bring a business card. I bring an autographed copy of my book.
Yeah.
So I immediately set myself apart. from
Mm-hmm.
all other people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me not a competitive advantage, a strategic advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a perceived value advantage.
Mm-hmm.
People think a competitive advantage is valuable. It is not. All it is something that you have that your customer needs.
Mm-hmm.
Not that your competition doesn't have, but in the mind of the customer, I wanted them to feel comfortable with me. I want them to have enough perceived value in me where they want to buy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I have that, I'm going to win.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. What made this book the bestseller?
I have no idea. I think it's
Yeah.
because first of all, it's red. Second of all, it's cloth bound. Third
Mm-hmm.
of all, it's smaller than the normal book. So
Mm-hmm.
women, for example, can put it in their pocketbook or their handbag.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a feel about it. And when you open it up, it's full color. There's cartoons. There's all kinds of, it looks very readable.
Yes, it is.
And
Yeah,
it took off.
it
I got
stands
the
out.
book about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Just nothing to do with real estate investing. I've been in logistics. I got the book 20 years ago. Like you said, it's very readable. It's
Correct.
easily readable, and I love the tassel. You always know where you are, and the illustrations are, and
Phenomenal. Yeah.
you read it the way you speak, and that's what makes it engaging. It's like you're having a conversation.
Because I write like I speak.
I
Mhm.
I agree. I agree.
And it's become one of those books that's just I can't say enough grace over it.
Yeah. So you didn't do any marketing or like
Of
a
course, you
launching
have to do some
strategy
marketing.
behind it?
No, hold on. You have to market.
Mhm.
I mean, we were spending probably $10,000 a month
Mhm.
on placement, marketing, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
But it worked. But here's the key. The book made the Wall Street Journal bestseller list.
Mhm.
103 straight weeks.
Wow. Yeah.
Right, exactly. People will spend 25 grand to make it 1 week.
Right. Yeah.
This made it organically for 2 years.
Wow. That's
And it
phenomenal.
made the New York Times bestseller list. It made the Business Week, everything, every list that you could make, including #1 overall on Amazon, not #1 in a category. I'm
Right.
talking about beat Harry Potter #1.
Right. 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 Right.
So the volume of the book was there, the strength of the book was there, and at the time, Borders bookstore, which has since gone bankrupt, had a face out thing that if you were on the Wall Street Journal bestseller list, you got a place in the front of the store where your book was face out. Well, thousands and thousands of copies were sold because my book was face out for 2 years.
Wow.
So just think about all the momentum that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a blessed person. Now the book's great. And many people will tell me it's not just a book about sales, it's a book about life.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building relationships, it's about networking, it's about humor. It's got way more important things in it
Mm-hmm.
than just how to make a sale, but it's also how to make a sale
Yeah.
or how to get people to buy.
Yeah, I think the book reflects what you just mentioned
Yeah.
about being truthful for who you are, being authentic for who you are, and provide value, always provide value.
Yeah. And I'm not going to please everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If I get 49.8% of the vote, I'm president of the United States. So just be aware of that. And
Yeah.
not everyone's going to like what you do or what you say, but if enough people like it, if half the people like it, you win.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
win.
Yeah.
And, being a New York City salesperson, I can take it either way. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I've had more doors slammed in front of my face than I can shake a stick at. But when I had the door slammed, I would knock again. I said, "You mean no time today? Can I come back tomorrow?" And literally, because I decided if I'm going to cold call, I'm going to have fun. And the
Yeah.
guy or the woman would come to the door about 30% of the time laughing. The other 70% were some pretty strong expletives, but I didn't care. I'm
How
from Philly. I'm from
how
Philly. You're not gonna hurt my
He's
feelings.
from Philly. That's how.
how
Right.
did you make them laugh? Like even before what? Like before you when they open the door?
Okay, so I walk in an office
Yeah,
and there's a woman sitting there
yeah.
and she's the gatekeeper. And I'll say to her, listen, I know you actually run the place, but I'd like to speak to the person that thinks they do.
Yes.
And I get in every time.
There you go. Yeah, love it.
Every time.
Wow, you just provided a solution for bypassing the gatekeepers, which is
Correct.
like number one challenge of a lot of us face
And
today.
there's another way to bypass the gatekeeper, and that is wait in the parking lot early in the morning for someone who drives a nice car and introduce yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
Just
That's
how determined you are, right?
Right. But well, in Manhattan, no one drives a car, so you have to do it a different way.
Yeah, but still, I think, you know, the people who showed up that early to an
Yep.
office building. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's
It's hard
interesting.
work. Most salespeople won't do the hard work that it takes to make selling easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. They
Yeah.
won't stay up at night. They won't get prepared. They won't figure out who the boss is before they get there. They won't figure out a way to get his or her number. They're just
Yeah, I hear you.
they're going to stalk somebody until they win, which is stupid. We'll never win that way.
So out of the 12.5 principles mentioned in the book, which
Yes.
one do you think is the most critical one? I bet it's hard to pinpoint one, but
No,
maybe
it's not
give
hard.
us a few
There are two pieces that really resonate.
Mhm,
The first principle, which is kick your own ass,
mhm.
means if you don't get yourself out of bed, no one will. It is said that the hardest door to open in sales is your car door, because you got to get out and get on the road and get going. And if you don't love what you do, you're never going to be able to kick your own ass. You're always going to have some kind of an excuse about turning over and hitting the snooze button. If you're hitting the snooze button in the morning, you're a loser. You have no reason to get out of bed. I don't even have a snooze button. I don't understand what they are. Why would I not want to fly out of bed in the morning? And understand, when you're a salesperson, it's not what keeps you out of bed, or what keeps you up at night. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. If you understand what gets you out of bed in the morning, what keeps you up at night is nothing. Literally nothing.
Mhm.
So that's number one. And the last one is number 12.5, which is resign your position as general manager of the universe. Everybody is concentrating on other people's drama. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what Bob did. Don't worry about what Mary did. Don't worry about the news. Concentrate on yourself and your own success, or your family and their success. Concentrate on your health. Concentrate on your attitude. Concentrate on your ability to become successful on your own, and stop blaming other people for your bullshit. You know, there's a difference between blame and responsibility.
Mhm,
Responsibility is the opposite of blame.
mhm. So you mentioned two things. One is basically when you know your why, you'll figure out the how, right? Is
Correct.
your passion, your drive. And
Correct.
number
And
two, yeah.
the why is a very important part, because why you're doing it, but most people don't go deep enough on their why.
Mhm.
Why? Because I want to make more money. Okay, why?
Why? Yeah.
Well, I want to pay for my kids' education. Why?
Mhm.
Because I didn't get an education. Why? Because my dad said I was stupid and didn't deserve to go to college. Aha.
Hmm.
There's a why.
Mhm.
And so you have to go into the emotional part of it, dig into the emotional part of why, and then you can win.
Mhm. Interesting.
You
Yeah.
know, how many people came from China and had nothing, showed up here with nothing, and built an empire for themselves?
That's me.
Exactly. Exactly.
At least
the-
I like to
the-
claim that.
The two, I think, most probable areas of successful people are people who come from another country to show up in America and bald guys from the Bronx. Those are the two, I think, primary, right? Primary.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think because we're hungry, right? You know, Steve Jobs,
You work
he wanted
harder.
me, yeah.
You work harder, period.
Mhm.
There's an ability for a person who's not a United States citizen. To me, that's who I look for.
Mhm.
I know that person, they have a competitive advantage because they're not American. They don't have entitlement.
It's funny you make that comment, Jeffrey, because my father, who's an immigrant from Sicily, and has a good level of success, he said something to me recently, a couple years ago. When you're hungry, you're smarter,
Yeah,
and that meant a lot to me.
I agree. You figure it the hell out.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. And the second is just persistency. Put in the work and be persistent and showing up consistently, right? Never
Yes.
ever give up. That's your
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
So your job is, as a salesperson, is to figure out why you love what you do, and then how you're going to dig in and become the best at what you do.
Mhm.
Because if you don't love it, you're never going to become the best. You're going to just skate by, do whatever you have to do, hate it, drink on the weekend like an idiot, and think your life is fine because you're making a medium income. But you're the first to get cut. When it's time to get cut, your name's on the pink slip list, and probably near the top. And is AI going to eliminate my job? If you suck, probably yes. If you don't suck, probably no.
So I do have a question around that. You know, our the technology, social media is changing how we're perceiving our world, and how do you think sales has evolved with the technology around us?
Well, there's two kinds of salespeople. If you're technically adept, you're going to be fine. If you're not technically adept, you're probably too old, and you should probably either get lessons from a 18-year-old or bow out.
Yeah,
Because you're going to lose to a point where you're going to become the Willy Loman of this century. Death of a salesman comes about every 20 years, not once in a lifetime. You have to decide which generation you're going to be in, next or last.
love it.
It's just that simple.
And you are evolving with technology. You're launching your AI platform. Yeah.
Listen, I titled myself the King of Sales. I gave myself the title. If you Google King of Sales, I pop up. If I'm going to be the King of Sales, I better be working my ass off to stay the King of Sales, correct?
Right, yes.
And so that's why I'm launching, that's why I've invested 6 figures in an AI channel, because I know that's what's next.
Yeah.
But I also have content enough to where when I launch the channel, it'll have meaning. There's very few people that have a depth of content like I do. And then the channel has to perform in a way that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely check it out.
Me too. I'm meeting about it every day. We have a team on it. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So I'm curious, Jeffrey, what is your why? You are 78, right? So if it's okay to disclose that age, you have a lot of wisdom.
Listen, I want to live long enough to see the Eagles win another Super Bowl.
I don't think that's going to happen, bro.
I think it's going to happen this year. We have the running backs now. We have the quarterback. We have the receivers. We have the defense. It's going to be close.
Jeffrey is a huge optimist. That's good. That's a good.
Well, listen, we've been cheated out of the Super Bowl the last couple of years. Maybe we can finally win one.
Responsibility or blame, Jeffrey?
Well, believe me, I'll take responsibility for it, but it's not my team. I would have done it differently if it was my team.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But this is the challenge. This is the challenge. My why goes way deep into pride of being a son.
Mhm.
You know, my one time in my life after the Sales Bible was published, my dad called me on the phone and said he was proud of me.
Oh. Mhm.
Once in my life. That's all you need. But that keeps you going.
Mhm.
And I'm I don't have a solid religious background. I believe in, oh my God, I want to get into this, but I'll tell you what it is anyway. This is my guy, Neville Goddard.
Mm.
And Neville his main philosophy is the Bible is a storybook, not a history book.
Interesting.
Once you understand that, your whole outlook on life changes.
Hmm.
Well, we don't have to get into that, Vera.
Yeah, no, we don't. But I'm just going to challenge you that my why goes into my life and my ability to transfer my message and leave my legacy.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm all about that. I wake up every day and that's what I do. And I'm happy about what I do. I'm not pissed off about what I do.
Mhm.
So I'm happy. I understand where I'm going. I understand how to do it. And I got my family.
Mhm.
4 daughters,
Mhm.
4 granddaughters,
Mhm.
1 great granddaughter, and another great granddaughter on the way. So I will have
Wow.
10 girls in the family and a cat who's also a girl.
No
And
boy.
no boys.
You're a
No boy.
minority. You're a minority of minority.
Big
That's what
time.
made him so tough.
Exactly. But listen, the challenge is this: how fulfilled are you?
Yes. Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. What's
And
your purpose, right? What's your life statement?
Right.
What are you on this planet Earth for? Those questions are urgent questions, need to be answered.
and so I have a philosophy,
Mhm.
and my philosophy is I give value first.
Mhm.
I help other people.
Mhm.
I strive to be my best at what I love to do.
Mhm.
I establish long-term relationships with everyone,
Mhm.
and I have fun, and I do that every day.
Love
And
it.
that's how I live my life. And so
Mhm.
if you don't have a philosophy, you don't have a why.
Mhm. Exactly.
So your why has to be in harmony with your philosophy.
100%.
And I'm a follower of Jim Rohn, who
Mhm.
said, philosophy drives attitude, attitude drives actions,
Mhm.
actions drive results,
Amen.
results drive lifestyles.
Mhm.
So if you don't like your lifestyle, go back and look at your results.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you don't like your results, go back and look at your actions. But the critical piece is, if you don't like your actions, go back and look at your attitude. And if you don't like your attitude, go back and look at your philosophy. And salespeople think they have to start their day with action. They don't. They have to start their day with philosophy and attitude. If you don't,
Mindset. Yeah. Mhm. Mindset is everything.
and so let me take it a little step further, Bira.
Mhm.
You have to you wake up with a frame of mind. And
Mhm.
that frame of mind allows you to get into your mindset. And what you do in the morning determines your whole output. So
Right.
I'm in my library right now, and I have a chair that I sit in every morning for an hour. I read, I write, I prepare, and that causes me to think and create. I do that. I've been doing that for 25 years.
Amen. Love it.
And I do it every day. When I'm home, I do it every day, like clockwork.
Do you
And
meditate?
most people get up and take a shower and go to work.
Right. True. Yeah. Do you meditate, Jeffrey?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's that 1 hour, your miracle morning routine.
Yeah, I don't follow the miracle morning per se, but I'm my own miracle. I create my own outcomes by dedicating myself to a process.
Yes. Love it, love it. That's amazing. So just so you know, I don't want to forget, I do have a nonprofit which focuses on women empowerment. to empower the younger girls to be confident and strong. So,
Mhm.
Since you got so many women around you, I think we're aligned.
Okay, cool.
I do have one like question. How do you handle rejections? I'm pretty sure as sales, like you faces rejections constantly.
There's one way and one way only to handle an objection.
Okay.
And most of the time, salespeople try to have some trick or technique in order to be able to get past the objection when the customer says, I want to think about it, or your price is too high, or I already have a vendor. What I say, and I've been saying this since 1992 when I first wrote about it, I have the following phrase. I was hoping you would say that.
Oh, I will
See,
hope you would say that. Yeah.
yeah, people who think my price is too high end up being my best customers.
Mm.
People who have a supplier for somebody end up being my best customers.
Mm.
People who want to think about it end up being my best customer once they've had time to think about it. And then I'll
Mm.
create some kind of interactive thing to where we can either think about it together, or I give them a little bit of space, because I'm not a sales guy that's going to be pushy about it. And I
Mhm.
want to make sure that everybody understands that there's a strategy for overcoming objections that has to do with harmony, not negative response.
Love it.
If
Love
you're
it.
trying to overcome objection with a sales trick or pitch or technique, it's probably not going to happen.
Be authentic, be truthful.
Yeah. But be
Mhm.
truthful to yourself first.
Yeah. Mhm. You have to believe what you sell, right? You
Right.
have to believe what you sell brings value to people around you.
And I'm going to throw humor in it. I'm going to go, you're right, our prices are high, but that's just good for me. That's good for my profit. But if you, oh, you want that shitty sales guy, let me give you his number.
So you
So
mentioned, go ahead.
I'm just going to be comfortable about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Amazing. So you mentioned earlier about building long relationships. So how do you go about building long relationships? Because I know it takes time and effort to maintain a relationship, and we're all busy. Like, how do you go about it? What's your process look like?
It's not we're all busy. It's what are you doing that can create value for multiple people instead of one person.
Mm-hmm.
So I have books.
Okay.
I have 17 of them now.
Mm-hmm.
So I could send a customer a book a month, and I now have a 17-month relationship with them. Oh.
Oh, that's a good one.
But salespeople are lazy. They don't, it's
What
not.
if we don't have books? We don't have
But if you
books.
don't have books, you fucking write one.
Yeah.
You,
Oh my
you
On
goodness.
have
the
a,
bucket list. I
you
do
have a
have one.
blog, you have a blog, you have a podcast, you have things that can engage your customer. Bring your customer on as a guest.
Mm. Okay.
But have something that says creatively, I care about you.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Total
Fundamental.
fundamentals.
Yeah. So as the king of sales,
Yeah.
if you have to narrow down the definition of sales, what would that be?
Mine is very simple. I just help other people buy, and I provide a product or a service that has a greater mental value in the mind of the customer than the price.
Okay.
People buy on emotion and then justify on logic. I love this car. What are the payments? I love this house. What's the mortgage? So you don't want the mortgage and then love the house. That doesn't work like that. It's always the other way around. And your job as a salesperson is to love what it is that you do and then convey it with a passion. and then figure out a game plan where you can make it happen again and again through a referral.
Yeah.
But you don't ask for referrals. This is what makes me go nuts. Somebody buys a house for $500,000. And after about a week, they get a postcard or a greeting card from the realtor. And you know what it says? I build my business on referrals. And I was wondering if you had any, like, seriously, you're going to send me a card and I'm going to give you a referral? No. If you're smart about it, you're going to call your real estate agent up on the phone and say, Bob, I have somebody who wants to sell their house. Would you like to have lunch with us? The best way to get a referral is give a referral.
Okay.
So the real estate agent, who's basically lazy, doesn't even know what their customer does. Why don't you bring me a referral? I'm not going to let you in with a referral. I'm not going to return your phone call because you're bringing me a referral. No. So if the value is there, if the perceived value is there, I'm in. And it shows you did your work, shows you did your homework, shows you're willing to put up value first. Because I don't need another slide deck. I don't need another request for a referral. It's like, horrible.
I hear you. Always lead with value. Amen. Love it. Yeah. This is awesome. This is great. So I got one more question I have to ask.
Okay.
What kind of challenges? I bet you ran into challenges, lots of challenges in your life. That's just guaranteed. What's one challenge you can think of and how did you overcome it?
Well, let's look at it from a multiplicity of situations. Number one, you have the challenge of the market. How's the market doing? You have all kinds of weird people that are running the country, and there's all kinds of economic stress, to say the least. You can't deal with that. You have to do something that doesn't have to deal with watching the news on an every night basis to see what's going on. That's way too stressful, and you can't affect it. So if you can't affect it, then you are being affected by it. Like I can't, if I was a stockbroker, I can't affect, quote, the market. All I can do is adjust my stuff and adjust my ideas, and I don't need that amount of stress in my life. I'm going to do what I love. Now, some people love it. Some people love the stress. God bless them. I'm not among those people. I'm going to do what I love and relax and have a good time. That doesn't mean I'm going to slack off. I'm going to double down on my work. But the bottom line is, I'm going to do this in a way that affects me positively and affects the outcome to my customer positively. I'm going to give them the best I've got.
Love it.
That's the deal. And so in this world, the shit that happens, I can't affect it. I ignore it. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the market. I don't care about anything. I care about me. I care about my family. I care about my business, and I care about my customers. That's it. And my friend. But everybody else can just go pound sand. I don't care about those people.
I hear you.
And it helps to be from New York and Philly because you genuinely don't care about them.
You're being truthful.
I live in a condo building. When someone comes and walks to the elevator, I hit door close.
Oh boy.
All right.
And I thought everyone did. I thought I was the only one that did that.
We just don't make eye contact. In New York, we don't make eye contact, and the door closes by itself.
No eye contact, no talking.
Yeah.
Makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. Really, really appreciate you. This is amazing. So much wisdom you have shared with us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we would love to have Theo get on us for our next episode and tell us what's going on in your pipeline. We know there's an AI platform coming up.
Listen, it'll be gitomersales.ai.
Yeah.
And just put in the chat or whatever.
It's in the
And
chat, yeah.
you'll,
Mhm.
in another couple of days, you'll come to a landing page and you'll be able to sign up and be
Yeah.
part of the program.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you
Actually,
so much.
on July the 5th,
July the 5th,
I'm giving a webinar called Sales Independence Day,
Sales and Independence. Okay, all right,
right after July the 4th. Of course.
okay. Yeah.
We're
Sales.
heading to Florida July 5th. We could listen to that on the road.
And how do
could.
we
11
find out
o'clock.
more about it? How do we find out more about the sales?
Just go to Gitomer Sales AI
Uh-huh.
and GitomerSales.ai, and there'll be information there.
Got it. Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you
Cool.
so much. Yes,
It's
cool,
my
cool.
pleasure. Vera, Bob, thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Jeffrey. We really appreciate you being with us, and tons of knowledge and a lot more to come.
Yes.
My pleasure. My people
Thank
will
you.
call your people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Talk soon. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.